Good evening and welcome to another live stream from beautiful Abruzzo, very hot Abruzzo, and from a home in Italy. My name's Dave Benton, and if it's your first time viewing, then welcome. Welcome to the show. Where have you been? Where have you been for the last few years? Thank you so much for all your continued support to everybody else. Really appreciate it. Tonight is usually a public favourite. It's Meet the Home Buyers 1 year on. We've actually got a couple. We've got Laurie that's in today, and her husband John, and then we've got Barbara from Texas that's joining us. So we've got a little bit of a show for you tonight. We've got a little bit coming from two different angles and two people that one that's using it as a holiday home, the other one that's actually living here. So it's going to be a great show. So make sure you keep joined in. What I will say, joining in, should I say? What I will say is Tony, the producer, is not here today. Thankfully, he's not actually here. He's on holiday. So we're all really pleased about that. I've got complete rule over all these buttons that he uses. So Tony is not with us. Tony is not with us. Does it work? He's usually a bit quicker than me on these things. So unfortunately, that does mean that I am on my own, so it's going to be difficult to put some of the questions. I'm going to try and do that as we go along, and a few people that's saying hello and things like that. But do keep writing. Let us know where you are in the world. But there will be no tongue-twisting trials today with Tony and Domenico because, as I said to you before, Tony is not with us tonight. There's only me with us tonight, just me. Why didn't this cheer button doesn't work? I'm sure he's done something to it. Unbelievable. So yes, I will try and get through as many questions as possible, but I'm sort of looking there and looking down here. Somebody's saying hello, Dave and Tony. But remember, everybody, who's not here tonight? Tony. He's on holiday. He's on a holiday in Puglia. He's actually, can you believe that? He's actually abandoned Abruzzo and he's actually going down to Puglia. I am hoping actually. Oh, hang on a minute. He did say he may pop in. It did say he may pop in and say hello, which I'm a little bit disappointed about, actually, because I didn't think he would. But he is here. Tony, can you hear me? Can you just give me a thumbs up if you can hear me? I can't believe he's sat in the sun. He's having a beer. Unbelievable.
I've escaped.
So I'm just telling everybody that you're down. Unbelievable. How come there's nobody else there? Have you scared everybody off?
Well, you know what? Most of them are Italians. They've gone off for sort of an early rest and then out for dinner, aren't they? Which is fairly normal.
So you've not mentioned anything about the football then?
No. Not yet.
So you're having a good time. You're having a good time down in Vieste. Where are you? Vieste.
Vieste. Yeah, superb.
Very nice.
Absolutely beautiful.
Well, I'll keep holding the fort. You just enjoy yourself and do whatever you do. It's no problem. I'll work. You just stay in your pension years.
Well, you'll have to get back to me next week, won't you? Because I'm still here.
Thank you very much for reminding about that. Okay, Tom. Well, sort of good to see you. But I think
just make sure you do right, won't you? Don't do anything that you shouldn't do.
Yeah, I'm sure you've done something to that applause button. I'm sure you've done something. But I'll try and keep it running perfect. I think everybody's really happy that you're not here anyway. That's the general thing on the.
I can imagine that.
Yeah. Okay, then, mate. Have a good time.
Yeah, I will do.
See you soon.
And talk to you later. Ciao.
I can't believe I can't. How do I get rid of him? Can't get rid of him. Oh, there you go. Oops, I shouldn't have done that. There you go. So Tony come to say hello after all. People are saying yay for Tony. That's not fair, Patty. I've been left on my own. This is quite difficult on my. He does very little, but I do need him every now and then to do these things. Okay, so I'm going to be keeping my eyes are going to be flicking all over at the moment, but I will do my best But just remember, if things do go wrong, then I'll be back to you as quick as possible. And also remember that Tony's not here tonight. That's the last one of those, I promise. Okay, so let's quickly do the what do we call it? I can't remember. I can't remember what it's called now. I feel like a duck out of water. It's called. Let's quickly do. What's it called? It's called the stunning photo of the week. And the stunning photo of the week actually goes to our guest Barbara, because and that's not because I'm being lazy. She's putting her hand. I can see her on the stream. She's going like that. But she gets the photograph of the week because she sent me this actually a couple of weeks ago. And this is from a cantina, which I'm sure she's going to tell us about as well. Very close to a winery, very close to Palombaro. So a big shout out for Tilly. That's the name of the wine. Absolutely fantastic wine, and the scenery from here is absolutely unbelievable. So I don't know if you can see my little arrow, but Piedimonte is just here. Palombaro slightly to the left here. This is all the Maella mountain range. And they're just outside of Carsoli. So there you go. So Barbara, who was going to be coming on in a few seconds, has won the stunning photograph of the week. So remember to keep them coming in. I do like receiving photographs. It doesn't have to be in Italy. It can be anywhere, anywhere where you want to put it. Just any photograph, but try and put the words stunning in there if you can. Okay, let me get rid of that. So I will try and put messages on. Keep typing in the chat box, because I do like to see that. So what we're going to do tonight, we're going to bring Barbara from Texas in first, who is pretty much a neighbor, and then we're going to bring Lama, Laurie. Lama, I love that name. Lama, Laurie, and John. They're going to be coming on shortly. So, and the reason why I wanted to get Barbara from Texas, I should call her Crazy Barbara from Texas, because she is a little bit crazy. So I can see she's smiling now, so I didn't say anything bad. But I've had a few people asking me if there's anybody that can come on the show to speak about living in Italy as a single female. So who better to ask about living in Italy than Texas Barbara? And here she comes. Good evening.
Buonasera.
How are you doing? Are you all right?
Doing good. And yourself?
All good. Thank you very much. All good. So, Texas Barbara, the crazy Texas Barbara. We're going to find, obviously, you've already been on one of these Meet the Home Buyers. I know sometimes the internet's been freezing out a bit because you've got huge, thick walls there. If it does happen, we'll obviously come back to you. So you've done a Meet the Home Buyer. So I'm not going to go too much, even though I do want to show off your house. So let's do that first, actually. So tell people a little bit about where you actually live here in Italy.
I live in Palombaro on the outside of this village, more in the country area. So I bought a country house with a lot of land.
With a lot of land.
Yes, I did.
And how's that going, trimming that grass when it's 40 degrees?
It's not too bad, not too bad. Working it and, trying to keep the bamboo down, but that's impossible right now. So just have to let it grow and wait till winter and let it die out again. So
yeah, I mean, I know these photographs are sort of before you bought it, or I think once the old owners had left. But I mean, you've got some incredible views from your terrace, haven't you?
Yeah, I really do, because I've got the large terrace that you're showing from the kitchen, and then upstairs where I'm sitting at, I have the little Juliet balcony, so I can see out there even more. And then I've got another side porch that looks onto the other side of the land. So I've got views all over the place. Definitely.
And Jeroen, or Joe as he's known locally, is saying stunning scenery there. And Jeroen was obviously, I think I'm sure you know. Do you know Joe and his wife Els? I don't know if you do. No, but they live in Civitella, which can be seen from your terrace. So when you came, because you came one of the few people that actually came out to see, considering everybody's remote buy, and you did remote buy as well. But was it the scenery that blew you away first, or was it because you were quite taken back by the insight? You liked the style of the old owner, didn't you?
Yeah, I liked the because that's what I really wanted was scenery.
Yeah.
And I really like the scenery, and it's really nice. You can go out and sit on the balcony, and when it's really nice outside. And my sisters and her boyfriend, they always come out and sit outside the whole time. They never come in the house. So everybody likes sitting outside, which I do too when it's when the weather's nice and cool.
I mean, I dare say you've changed some of this now, because this is how it was before. But you did like that sort of rustic style, didn't you, in the kitchen area and that kind of thing? Have you changed much in here?
Yes, a lot of the owners took a lot of the furniture stuff with them, like the little side table by the sofa.
Yeah.
And I took a lot of things down and just rearranged everything and put my own things up, and painted the cabinets in the kitchen a little bit and reknobbed those, and just a little few things here and there. And they took quite a bit of other stuff, but I bought most of the furniture, but they took like some of the rugs and whatnot.
So Terry's saying, awesome. I will be a single woman heading to Italy from Texas. Can't wait to hear your opinion. So before we start getting your opinion on life here, and then obviously we're going to bring Laurie and John into that as well. I just want to show people from the other terrace that you've got down in the garden as well, some of the views from that, which are truly stunning.
Yes.
Do you use this a lot?
Well, actually, I just got through having the pool set up. So the pool needed some new tiling and whatnots. So I bought I should have sent you some pictures, but
we've got a frozen. We've got a freeze for Barbara. She will be back in a second. So until she does come back, I'm just going to carry on showing you these photographs. I mean, you can see the... Barbara, we've got you back, I think. Have we? No, she's not in there yet. So I will keep talking. So you can see Palombaro over on the hill here from her terrace. And obviously this is the Maela mountain range. This is I would say probably round about January time, maybe looking at this. Are you back with us, Barbara? Oh, we've got no sound, but I'm sure it'll come back in a second. It usually does. And she's disappeared. Oh, here she comes. She's coming back in. Hold on a second. Let's get... It's going to be one of those nights tonight, Barbara. I can sense it.
Yeah.
So you were saying you put some new tiles around the pool area?
Yeah, new tiles inside the pool and water's in it. There's a few little tweak problems I've got to have done, which I'm going to have fixed in a couple of weeks. But it's going to be used this summer for the first time. Mm-hmm.
Superb. So what lots of people have asked, and it's not just for single women. This applies to anybody, for cost of living and that kind of thing. I mean, you were quite... I'm going to say you were brave, because you got your visa in record time, didn't you? Because it was during COVID, if I remember rightly.
A little after COVID.
Right. Because I remember you calling me up and saying, I've sent all my visa stuff off, and you had it was about a week before you were due to fly out here, and they got your passport and everything, hadn't they?
Yeah.
So, I mean, you did all this on your own, came out here on your own. You've been here for how long now?
A year and 9 months.
Right. So how would you say you feel now compared to them? Were you sort of scared? Is scared the right word? Was it? How did you feel when you first came out and everybody disappeared? Because I know your sister came out, didn't she? And your ex-husband, who you have a great relationship with. And then all of a sudden you were left on your own. And at that time you had no car.
Right. It's Savannah.
Yeah, I have my wife. She used to pick you up and take you shopping when she went shopping. But how did you actually feel once that door closed and everybody had gone?
I was kind of nervous. I didn't sleep well for a while because you know, if something happens, you're not in touch with somebody that you know. So I was really nervous. It took me about 6 months before I could actually settle down and get a good night's sleep and feel comfortable.
Okay, 6 months.
Yeah, it took a little bit because, you know, if you get sick or fall down and hurt yourself, who do you call? You know, because both my neighbors on both sides, they're elderly people that don't speak English and they can't do anything. And so you just got to kind of worry about that. and you just try to be careful.
Yeah.
Not fall down or get sick. So.
I mean, I can understand. I mean, even coming over when me and Silvana moved out, I must admit we felt vulnerable as well. And I mean, I felt really vulnerable because I couldn't speak the language like yourself. Luckily, Silvana did at the time, so it was. Yeah, I do get that. I remember my son falling off the back, Gianluca falling off the back of the sofa, and banging. There was an exposed pipe. And all I can remember is seeing blood in his eye. He was only young at the time, really young at the time. And I suddenly thought to myself, I don't know who to ring. I don't know the emergency number. I know nothing.
Right.
You know, and so when would you say that sort of worry passed? That you say 6 months. That did something happen where you just felt better about things, or I think we've gone into a freeze again. We've definitely gone into a freeze. What I'm going to do, I think I'm going to bring. Are you back with us, Barbara? Yep, you're back. Okay, so as I was saying, I know you say it took about 6 months to get over it, but did something happen where suddenly you felt more comfortable, or was it a gradual thing?
It was a gradual thing, and also I started meeting more people who could help me if I needed something, and I started being more, really careful and not getting, try not to fall down. But yeah, or hurt myself. But I started getting more comfortable because you start meeting new people, and you meet people who say, well, if you need something, we can help you. We'll call you. You can call us. So I got into a network of people that live around here that are from the UK, and one of them speaks pretty well Italian. So he, always says if you need something, call him, and he would help out. So I started feeling a little bit more comfortable with that.
I think the expat community is important as well. As much as we all want to be around Italians, it's great to have that connection with people that's here as well. That I think you
really need that. And like you say, you want to immerse yourself with the Italian folks, but you do need to have some expat community help around here, and that's a good thing also, because we're on that Amici expat thing, and so if you need something or need help, you can always do it through WhatsApp, and somebody will help you, or you can get in touch with somebody.
Brilliant. And how's the somebody's just asking, there's a couple of questions that people are asking, so let's do some of these. Karen is saying, so you bought first, then applied for your visa. How soon after your closing did you have to apply?
Well, for your visa, you have to have the house before they grant you the visa. That's the sticky part about it, is because when you apply for your visa in whatever state you're coming from, they want to see the purchase of your house first. They want to see your one-way ticket from the United States to Italy before they'll even grant you the application. Yeah. So that's the sticky part right there.
And you went through Texas, didn't you?
Yes.
But they were very good. I've heard that they're very good with other people as well. But I mean, the speed that they took you.
A week and a half. That's. I was so surprised. Yeah. Honestly.
I'm not sure if they're still doing the same now, but I think that's sort of after COVID and things. But yeah, you certainly did that quick. Well, I think I was more worried than you. You were chilled out at the time. I was thinking, Barbara, how are you going to get your visa and get out here in a week? And you seem to be chilled out about it all. Snoring Dog is saying, Barbara, how much Italian do you speak?
Not very much.
No.
But I'm learning as I go along, and I meet people, and I do use Google Translate quite a bit, and I can ask for basics. Do you know where, or how much, or do you have those size shoes in my size, or things like that. I can get by very well and ask for help, and I'm doing okay.
Excellent.
If I need something up at Maria's, I'll go up there and they'll understand me. And if they don't, they're really nice up there, and they always say, here, let me show you and teach you how to say these words. So I learned.
That's brilliant. That's brilliant. No, and that is credit to most Italians as well. I think they're very good with us, very patient. I think this is quite a good question. I mean, this would be interesting to see your take on this. So Alice or Alice, I'm not sure which one. I think the isolation part of the move would leave me too vulnerable. So I would probably be concentrating on closer to town than a beautiful piece of land in the country. What would you say to somebody like Alice or Alicia? I mean, the fact that you're in the countryside, has it affected your life much?
No, I like being in the countryside, and you're not really remote. I have neighbors all up and down the street, and you know all the neighbors.
Yep.
So I'm not really remote at all. So
I think that's the thing. Sometimes people look at the photographs of your house. You see the mountains there, and they imagine that you're miles from anything, and there's nothing around. But it's not like that, is it?
No, I mean, I've got 4 grocery stores within 10 minutes. I've got restaurants within 10 minutes. I mean, I can be anywhere in 10 to 15 minutes. And if I want to go to like a bigger grocery store, I can be in Laciano in 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm not far from anything at all.
No, I think that is a huge thing to say, because again, I think when people are in the countryside, if you're stuck in a traffic jam in a city and you don't know anybody in the houses or the cars near to you, I don't see the difference between taking 10 minutes in a town or 10 minutes on a country road that's less stressful, better scenery, and you still get there. I understand maybe people that live really remote, that are maybe an hour away from anything, but all these areas that they're not like that, are they really? Every 10 minutes or so, there's something there.
Yeah, it's kind of different too, because, coming from the United States, like especially Texas, you say, well, I live out in the country. Okay, well, that is different, because in the country, you are 40 minutes, 45 minutes away from a town for a grocery store. That's not like that here at all. I mean, you have neighbors, and I can be in Cassoulet in 10 minutes.
Yeah. No, that's and that's the thing. That is a huge thing. Lewis is saying, or a 1-year lease. So for anybody that's looking to get their elective residency visa, then as Lewis said, you either need to buy a property as Barbara did, because before you used to be able to do it just on the deposit. I think they still did that for you, didn't they? Did you get it on the deposit, or did you buy the house and show that you'd bought the house when you applied for it?
No, I did it on the deposit, and when you went to the notary had to give you a special paper with the stamp and all the signatures from me and the previous owners before they even would look at it.
Yeah. So that's a good point from Lewis. And just to mention, because I did forget to mention, if anybody is looking for long-term leases to do their elective residency visas, rentingabruzzo@gmail.com. Get in touch with Lewis, and I'm sure he'll be happy to help. So okay, so what we're going to do now, I want to bring Laurie and John into this once I work out how to do this. Let me get the chat back up. Because they live in, or they've got a holiday home in Lama Dei Peligni that's not far from us. Before I bring them in as well, just a note on driving. I know when you first came here, I absolutely loved the day when you went to Carsally, but you went to the wrong Carsally. That after an hour and a half of driving, you thought, this is not the one that's 10 minutes away from me. I thought that was a fantastic story. But when you sort of obviously got the car, you were still a little bit nervous. How long would you say before you got used to the roads and everything like that? Are you completely comfortable now getting around?
Oh yeah, I drive everywhere, and I've gotten to where I don't have to use the GPS so much. Brett was here in April, and we drove to Assisi and drove around. I mean, I can get around pretty easy, no problem. I'm not very nervous at driving at all, really.
That's good to know. So I was going to bring Lama Laurie in, but she seemed to have disappeared. They've also got problems with their internet at the moment, because they're borrowing internet from their neighbours. They're waiting for it to be fitted in their house, so they're borrowing internet from their neighbors. So I'm going to bring. Let's bring. Let me get rid of. See, this is the only time where I need Domenico, and that's to get rid of certain things, such as that. Right? Okay. He does have his uses sometimes. You know Tony as well, don't you?
Yeah, and I feel bad because he used to drive me around to the to places I couldn't drive to, and I wasn't used to driving, and I kind of cut him out of that now because I can do it on my own.
Not to worry. We just use him. Just use him when we need him. We just throw him away.
Yeah. And I was hoping he was going to be on tonight because he always wears his football shirts and stuff.
That's true.
So I had to wear my kit gear today. So.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. You're into what is it? Is it bike racing or Formula One? What is it that you're into?
Formula One and motorcycle racing.
There you go. Have you got your TV sorted out? Do you get everything that you need? All the.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, everything's on there. I got all my American programs.
Perfect. And that in a strange way, and sorry, Laurie and John, I'm going to be bringing you on. I know it sounds sad, but again, when we moved here, I remember that for the first few years, and we didn't have a great internet connection at the time, and I think when you get these things like, I mean, for me it was English TV, obviously for you TV from the US, that also helps you settle in a bit, doesn't it? I know it may seem shallow to say that, but it does though, doesn't it?
Yeah, it really does. I mean, it makes you feel comfortable, like you're at home, and it helps you calm down a little bit because you've got something you're familiar with.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And somebody wrote on one of your chats, "Oh, it's important to know about how to say shoes." Yes, it is.
Brilliant. Okay, well, we're not going to let you go, Barbara. So we're going to, in fact, John and Laurie's disappeared again now. We're just about to bring them on again. So I'm definitely not going to let you go. So we've definitely got the choice between two when something happens. Somebody's just asked me about the tours, just saying that I think it's here. Are all the up and coming tours fully booked? We are fully booked during autumn time. So September and October, November have gone. We're going to be putting new dates in July. We're going to put new dates for January, March, April, and May for next year. But yeah, the other tours have gone. Okay, I think John and Laurie are back now. So let's bring them in before, I can see Laurie. I don't think John's here. Oh yeah, here he is. Let's bring them on before we lose them again.
Hello.
Good evening.
Ciao a tutti. Ciao a tutti. How is everyone?
All good. Oh, brilliant. Thank you, Laurie. Lama Laurie, should I say? That's your new name when you're in Italy.
Lama Laurie.
So you need to tell us all about Lama as well, because Saturday's property video that I put on was one in Lama that I know you guys really liked as well. So hopefully, even though there's a couple of people interested, but hopefully you're going to plug it a little bit. So John and Lama, you've actually written Lama Laurie as well on that. I've just thought, brilliant. You know, obviously you did a session with us as well before. You did a meet the home buyer session, which was great. This is a holiday home for you, isn't it? Tell us a little about how the Abruzzo dream came to reality and why Abruzzo.
Well, yeah, it's a holiday home for the moment. We will moving here probably in another 2 or 3 years. We have a couple of kids at home yet that are 18 and 20. And then Laurie's got a couple of years before she retires. But once that happens, then we'll be moving here permanently. But we chose Abruzzo for a couple of reasons. First, because we saw your channel.
That's always good.
And your videos were very enticing. And we love the way you would walk around the village and show us the local life and how the village appeared and where things were. And that really meant a lot to us because it wasn't just about buying a home or a property. It was about where you're going to live and what the people are like there.
Excellent. We are having a few little stutters on your internet, John. So I may end up butting in a couple of times. Can you hear us okay? No, We've got a little bit of freeze going off. Barbara, we're going to be bringing you in as well to help us out during these quiet times. So while their internet comes back, because I can see that they're off, Barbara, cost of living compared to, I'm going to say Texas because you're from Texas. How would you say that compares with everyday life? Let's talk about eating out and shopping, and then we'll bring John and Laurie in again shortly.
Actually, it's a lot cheaper than in Texas. I don't eat out a lot because really there's not a lot of fast food restaurants around, which is good. And I do eat out at restaurants at night because most everything is nighttime eating. But I can go, like today I went and had lunch at El Bucaneri with a friend of mine, and they've changed it to where you can do, it's kind of like a buffet for 20 euros, and that's including your drink and everything. Or 15, it's between 15 and 20, so that's really pretty cheap. I can go, down to another place for lunch and get a bowl of pasta, ice cream, and something to drink for 9 euros. Not getting it in the United States.
John and Laurie, if you can hear me, if you could sort of move, because I don't know if you've frozen. It looks like it's frozen. They may have to go out and come back in again. So I'm going to stay with you, Barbara, at the moment. I feel like I'm juggling. Tony's jinxed it. I know that's where it is. You definitely jinxed it. Just because I happen to mention that Tony's not with us tonight. Can't help myself. So in terms of shopping then, Barbara, when you go out for your weekly shop.
Actually, I don't really shop weekly because I can buy 2 weeks worth of groceries for a lot less than I could when I was in Texas. So I can do 2 weeks worth of grocery shopping, and the most I spend is about 70 euros.
Right.
Which is pretty cheap because in Texas, I would do a 1 week shop and it would cost me about $130.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's about a third of what you paid over there, would you say?
Exactly. And I don't have homeowners insurance. I know a lot of people worry about that, but I don't do homeowners insurance, which saves me thousands of dollars a year.
Right.
And I don't have to pay property tax. My property tax is more like my bin tax every year.
Yes. Yeah. Yes.
This year it was like 395 euros. Where my property
for the year, isn't it?
Yeah, and my property tax when I left Texas was $6,300 for the year. So, you do the math. Quite the savings. But you do pay on a little bit on some things like car insurance. That's a little expensive because they do things differently here on car insurance. They don't do it like in the United States where how many wrecks or non-wrecks or tickets and things like that, they put you on a numbering scale.
Yes, yeah. And it's also the car that's insured as well, isn't it, over here? Which I know in the UK they do it on the drivers and things, but here it's the actual car that's insured. So it's usually any driver over a certain age. So in general, then obviously, as you say, something's more expensive. I would say that's the same compared to the UK as well, but it's certainly much cheaper than the UK living here as well. So you would say in general, if not a third, you're saying a third for shopping, but would you say in general, overall, after you've been here for a year, compared to living in the States, what would you say? Half? Would you say you spend half? Yeah. I
do. And especially not eating, because when I was in Texas, there's more, you could go to fast food restaurants all the time. You don't want to cook, you can go to fast food. And that's where you lose your money on the fast food. Well, there's no fast food restaurants. Yeah. You're really forced to cook at home, which is not a bad thing because I think it's better for you.
Yeah, no, definitely. John and Laurie have disappeared, so I'm gonna keep speaking to you, Barbara, until they come back on. So when your relations come out, I think your sister's been out a couple of times. Have you got more than one sister, or have I just met?
Yeah, you met one, Brenda. She's the first one that came out.
Okay.
She hasn't been back out, but my older sister and her partner have been out a couple of times.
And they obviously love it as well when they come out. I'm
Oh, yeah.
gonna bring they're back again. We're not having much luck with this, guys, are we? So I'll jump straight in with you guys because obviously we mentioned before it's a holiday home. You were here last year, and then you've had a fair bit of time not being here. Laurie, looking at your Facebook, it just seems like you long to be back in Lama. So how did it feel coming back? How do you feel now you are back?
Oh, I just love it. I just love it.
Would
It's absolutely amazing. We were here last year for 2 weeks, and I actually had my bags packed. It's funny because I booked our trip in December, and I said to John, I said, we're going back. And he goes, oh, for 2 weeks? I said, no, 2.5 months. And he about had a heart attack when I told him that. But I told myself, well, why did we buy the house? So we arrived just last Thursday, and we are here until August 18th.
Brilliant.
And it's like we never left. It's wonderful. It's really wonderful. Everybody remembered us. Our neighbor came in to welcome us back home. And, everybody we've seen, everybody remembers who we are. They come up, they're giving us, the kisses. And it's absolutely, it's everything we've dreamed of.
Oh, that's brilliant. It's brilliant to hear because I think
It really
sometimes, when you came over the first time, obviously everything was new to you. Everything was obviously got the excitement of the house that you'd bought that you'd never seen and all the rest of it. But now you've come back again. You've still got that huge passion. I think you've got similar passion to me for this area. And that's fantastic. What I will say, you're frozen up a little bit, but hopefully you can still hear me and hopefully you can still. The first time you came out, you made some mistakes getting over here on the motorway. Can you hear me? Oh, that's a shame. They'll definitely be coming back. I'm going to hide them off the stream until they come back. So, Barbara, I'm going to come back to. Oh no, I think we've got them. No.
I don't mind.
This is definitely Tony that's doing this. I'm sure he has jinxed the whole thing. I'm sure he has. We're going to get them. They keep coming back, flashing on and off, and this is because they haven't got internet at the house yet, and their neighbours kindly. But it has to go through 2 extremely thick walls and a 20-meter difference. Can you guys hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes.
I feel like we're on a mobile phone call.
Yes,
we can hear and see everything on our end.
Okay, perfect. I'll tell you what I'm going to try while I'm showing some photographs. Let me just try taking off your... Can you hear me still? Nope, obviously not. I've probably just taken them off completely myself.
Hear us.
Oh, yeah, I've got you. Okay, so you made a couple of errors last time.
No, we can still...
Perfect. So you sent this photograph, which I thought was quite amusing, or this was put on your Facebook page. So what happened the first time and what's happened this time?
Well, the first time we got in the yellow lane, and we learned very quickly that is a no-no.
This is on the motorway, isn't
so
it?
We on the Autostrada, out of Rome. And we got in the, well, my Italian's better now. So I know biletta means ticket. So I knew what lane to get in. I've been studying Duolingo for a few months, and I knew that, biletta is ticket. So I knew what lane to get in. And so we didn't have a fine. And I was just so excited because I was actually holding the correct ticket. And so I had to take a picture of John driving. That really reduces the stress level when you know what you're doing.
Brilliant. And then I'm going to show a few pictures. This has actually become your thing almost. You seem to have these drinks in your hand nearly every photograph that we see. And you've got one there as well.
We found them in bottles today at the grocery store.
Yeah.
We found them.
You're as bad as Tony. So this is the Aperol Spritz drink. This is almost an identical photograph of last time. So this is in the in the local bar, I'm guessing, where you are, and you're having pizza as well.
Yes.
You seem to spend a lot of time in your local town. Have you got to know people in the bar as well and things like that?
Yeah, we found a new server this year, Kiara, but our other server, Carla, is supposed to be back this week. So I think tonight after the show, we're going to go up and see if she's there. I brought her some chocolates from the United States I want to give to her. But yeah, I mean, it's just, we went to the hardware store, and, I stayed in touch with Anarita through Facebook, and next week she's taking us on a bus trip. We're going to spend 5 days at the beach.
Super.
And I went into the local supermercado, and Rose and Nick remembered us, and they speak English, so we were able to talk to them. And then
Pepe.
Pepe Ardente, he takes the hiking tours up to the Forte, the fort, the refuge. He's going to get, John's going to be signing up with him to do the hike up to the mountain. And Giulio Del Pizzo is our village architect. He helped us today. He helped us get our taxes paid. We paid our EMU today, which was unbelievably cheap compared to what we pay in the States.
Super. So this is obviously there's a second home tax that you're paying here because it's a holiday home. And I know some people are going to be listening to this and thinking, you know all these people. You've had one visit, haven't you, before? But this is again, what can I say? This is Italian people for you, isn't it? You just get to know them so easily.
Yeah, it's they welcome you, and I had no Italian. John's getting there. I'm getting a little bit better, but you have to be willing to go out and meet people as well. Yeah. You have to walk into those shops, and I walk in. We introduce ourselves. We say who we are. We tell them where we live, and I've had people say you've got to speak Italian. And I said, I'm like, see, we're trying, and as long as you're trying, they really appreciate that, and they help you.
Definitely. I mean, Barbara, you're agreeing with this as well, aren't you? You found when you go into shops as well, it's the same thing. You go to Maria's, which is the local shop close to you. It's a credit to Italians for being as nice as they are, isn't it? That they help us wherever possible. So just carrying on with theme then. So that's another Aperol Spritz. I'll try not to say too much. And another one. John, I love this picture. I think this is a fantastic picture. Is this in Lama again? Is this a local restaurant in Lama?
Yes.
Yeah, we have one trattoria in the village that makes. I mean, this calzone was hanging over the plate. He didn't even finish it. But it's the portions. But what's really nice is everything is freshly made. No preservatives. It's really good, wholesome eating, and but we're having fun.
So just to give people a rough idea, I know we're not talking always about money, but people do ask me about it. But for this, what you've had now, I mean, I'm presuming you both had pizza, did you? I mean, what would you say you would pay in the local restaurant for what you're eating now?
We had 2 spritz. John had this massive calzone, and I had gnocchi with the mushroom sauce.
Oh yes,
and our bill was
truffles as well. In fact, did I put that picture on?
Yes.
No, I didn't put that on. Okay, sorry to interrupt.
And I think that was
€24.
I don't even. Yeah, maybe €24
for 2 people.
For 2 people that dinner.
That calzone was like a 2-day meal. It was insane. Yeah, I couldn't finish it.
Brilliant.
It was great.
And I mean, I know that's sort of a trattoria. So trattorias are classed as basic restaurants. They're still really nice, aren't they? Restaurants, but
very.
But they added options last year. They put on a whole new wing that had for like reservations and parties and things like that. They did a great job.
Super.
And the thing too is that people coming over here have to realize is that the dinner hour doesn't really take off and start till about 8 o'clock, maybe even closer to 9. I know the one night we were sitting there having our dinner. I think it might have been that night. We were the only people in the dining room, and it was about 8:30.
Yeah.
And then before we left, it was packed.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Italians
it was great because
late.
the other evening when we were getting back, it was about 9 o'clock and we were beat. Our neighbors, Dominica and Anna Marie, were just heading out uptown with their daughter and grandchildren to go get dinner.
Yeah.
It's like we haven't gotten to that level yet. It's just life in the village kind of doesn't even begin until about 8 p.m. and it's like that 8 to midnight or so is when most people are out and active in the village.
Yeah.
It's very different than where we're from.
Yes. Bubbles the Gorgeous has just written, isn't it they charge 7% property tax if you live there, but as a visitor 23%? No, that's not how it actually works. And the property taxes were a completely different, worked out in a completely different way. So no, these kind of figures are way out. I mean, your EMU tax, I don't know if you pay for a year or for 6 months, but compared to the States.
Well, we're in the United States. We're in the village we live in. It's about $7,000 a year, and here it was about $300 a year.
Yeah.
So it's a significant difference.
Yeah, absolutely huge. So let's just show another few photographs, and then I'll bring you back in as well, Barbara. So this one, you sent me this, or this one I think you put on Facebook. You said this was 6 o'clock in the morning, I think. Is this from your roof terrace?
Yes, that's our roof terrace, 6 o'clock in the morning. And I'm trying real hard to keep a lot of people back home, show them the photos and the pictures. I think I might start a Facebook page devoted exclusively to Lama. And so people can see the beauty and the splendor and at 6 o'clock in the morning, and this is what, we get this every day. We just walk up there. It's amazing. It's absolutely
I'm glad you're saying
amazing.
that. It is a great town. And don't forget, everybody, look at Saturday. The Saturday just gone video property, because that is in Lama. It's about 5 minutes walk from Lama, Laurie and John. So you could be neighbours. So again, this is you walking just around the town. I know you put lots of photographs. I haven't been to this church. Is this at the top of the town?
This is on the other side from where we live. Last year when we were here, we only explored our side of the street. So we decided to go up to the other side. This is the old convent. And they're going to start restoring the roof on it. So we walked the convent grounds. And we were the only 2 people up there, but it's just beautiful. There's an olive grove. The actual convent is to the right of this picture up on the hill. This is the church. We'd love to go in it, but it's not open. But they are renovating it and working on it.
Yeah,
that's great. Because I know you take lots of pictures walking around the town. This is it's almost like a viewing platform, isn't it, in the middle of town? That's
phenomenal. Yeah.
I mean, in August time and possibly late July, you're going to start seeing the festas as well that you'll see on there as well. So it's great that you're spending time, obviously, around your local town, and I know you love that, and that is great. What's this all about?
Oh, it was the panda, the panda meet. It was a vintage panda meet on Saturday, where they had about 26 or 30 older panda 4x4s come into our village, and they put on a really nice display. That was one of my favorite vehicles there. But it's a brilliant design.
Superb.
Vehicle that's real simple, easy to operate, easy to repair, and people drive them all over.
Excellent. So something else going off in the village.
To be able to navigate all the tiny streets and in the village, and they're great in the winter because they're 4-wheel.
Yeah, superb. And then obviously you've been
an event that we had one.
Okay. You've obviously been traveling afar. Well, not afar, because you've been to Sulmona as well, haven't you, over the last few days? How long did it take you to get to Sulmona? Did you go the mountain way? Did you go?
Yeah, it's about an hour.
About an hour. Okay, we seem to be losing you a little bit, so I'm going to hide them on the stream until that sorts. Sorry, John, I'm going to come back to you. I think you're. Can you?
All right.
Yep, we've got you. We've got you. So it's about an hour away, did you say?
Yes.
Okay. And this was the first time.
Real easy drive. First time there. I wanted to go for the Mercado, and they have it on Wednesday and Saturday. So we decided to drive there. Beautiful, the aqueduct, the village, a lot bigger than what we're used to here in Lama.
Yeah.
This was breathtaking. They're all paper flowers, and it was just so colorful and vibrant, and I couldn't believe that these were all made out of paper. It was so pretty.
Superb, superb. Brad is just asking a question. John and Lama Laurie, did you rent a car during the 2.5 months that you're here now? Is that what you've done?
Yeah.
Yeah, we rented out of Rome, the Hertz. We did that last year. It was a little expensive, but I mean, we need to have transportation. I'm thinking maybe next year, I'm going to look into, I think we're going to try to fly into Pescara and maybe rent there. It would probably be more affordable. We wouldn't have that 3-hour drive, but we're also going to, while we're here these 2 months, we're going to, we want to learn the public transportation. I believe it's called Tua, the bus that comes through.
Yeah,
We've seen it come through a lot, but we need to take the time to learn how to do the bus, the trains, and we will be doing that. We haven't even been here a week yet.
Yeah,
and,
I mean, there is an app called the Tua app, TUA.
Yes.
So it'd be worth looking at that. But yeah, I am sort of getting some contacts for hopefully some cheaper rental cars. So, and I think as well, because you love so much being around Lama, maybe you don't need it for 2 months next time. Maybe you just need it for a few weeks when you do want to do the traveling around, and then mix it with a little bit of the local transport. Another couple of pictures from Sulmona. Obviously, you're at the famous confetti shops here.
Yes.
And then
I had to get up.
Sorry.
Had to get that picture.
Definitely. So tell us a little bit, because this is going to lead into at the last part with you, and then I'm keen to say sorry, Barbara. I'm keeping you out of this at the moment, but I'm trying to mix everything in. Tell us a little bit why you're pointing to this particular sign, and then I'm going to show another photograph, and you can tell us all about the connection between you and Abruzzo.
Well, my maiden name is Celadonia, and last year when we got here, I discovered after we had been here that both of my grandparents were from Abruzzo. Had no idea. I have a copy of their birth certificate. I never even realized that my family name is Celadonia to Celadonia. So I'm walking around Sulmona, and I'm seeing, this is actually the second plaque that I saw that had Celadonia on it, my family name. So it's like, it's popping up everywhere. It's just so weird that this is all coming around.
Sulmona's not that far from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I know the first live streaming session that we did with you, it was getting quite emotional, and you nearly got me to tears as well. So, but it is crazy that you knew that you had Italian relations, but you'd no idea they came from Abruzzo. And just as we get to that, good point. We've lost them again, Barbara. We're gonna have to hide them. It's back to me and you again. Back to me and you. So, with regards to what's coming up, the future for you, obviously you've been here a year and a half. What does the future look like for Crazy Barbara from Texas? Is it an Italian future, or Laurie and John? I'm going to come back to you soon. Is it an Italian future, or how do you feel?
Yeah, I'm going to stay here. I'm not planning to go home at all. I go home for the holidays, and I'm ready to come back. I went home for a month for Christmas this year. I was ready to come home. I did everything I wanted to do and see. There was nothing that really changed, or it was like I wasn't really ever gone. So I thought, I'm ready to get back home. So I got back home.
so you feel that this is home now?
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think I always remember when we went back the first time. back to the UK the first time. And I think when you get to that point where when you go back home, but it's not what you remember, but it doesn't feel like home anymore. I think that's when you know you've made the right decision, isn't it?
Exactly. It's nice to see everybody and go to your old places, but then it's ready. I'm ready to come back.
Yeah.
I'm ready to get back home.
So the future is still in Palombaro for you then. So I need to keep my high fences and gates up. I need to buy a few more dogs. Just do it.
I know. When I went and picked Savannah up the last time, I told her, I said, could you cut the fence off?
Yeah. Have you noticed the trees have gone much higher than before?
Last time I went by there, I was like, oh, you can't even see his house anymore now.
Well, we've not done it just for you. Let's bring John and Laurie in again. Hopefully they're not frozen, or they may have frozen. We've got to get this last story out because it's a great story. I'm sure they're going to be back. Soon. So, any plans to go back to the States?
Yeah, I'm going back for the holidays again. Yeah.
Okay. So, are you doing any lessons for the language? Are you doing any Duolingo or anything like that, or are you just?
I do the word of the day. I get it on my computer and I do the word of the day and just practice the words. But my brain's like short fused, and I say the words and stuff. But I've gotten to where, like the brothers up the street, I go ask them, please come do my yard. They come do my yard. Yeah. And I've got to where I understand them, like when I went and paid them for doing my yard, because they do, everybody does their yards, well, the country road gardens and stuff in early June. So I went and paid him for that. And then I told him, thank you. And he said, well, we'll be back in September to do the land. So I do pretty good and understand what they're saying. And the girls at the grocery store I go to, they at Cole's, they always have the pre-made lasagnas and stuff. So I ask them, I'll say, do a lasagna. And they're going, oh, yeah, 3. Because I always have like 3 or something. I go, 3 lasagnas? Okay. So always talk me into it.
Brilliant. Don is saying, dying to hear some good news about our property in Palombaro, Don, and you are going to hear some good news, and it will be good news. So I'll have an update for you on Friday as well. So hopefully Don is going to be a neighbor for you guys as well. Let's see if we can get John and Laurie. It's really straight because I can see people in the little screen and they seem to freeze up and then disappear, freeze up and disappear. Let's just run through another quick couple of questions.
And that town they live in is really cute. I've been into that town.
Lama, yeah, it is. Yes. And Amy, who is saying hello to future neighbors, they're also buying in Lama as well. So hello to you, Amy. We do their signing very soon, so they're going to be no doubt talking about that. Let's see if we've got any other questions. Okay, what qualifies as a second home and how much are the taxes? So it depends on the property. A second home is if it's your holiday home. Unlike Barbara only pay for your garbage tax, don't you? Your bin tax, if you like. So other than that, what would you say it costs you a year to run your property? About 390, did you say?
Yeah, about 390.
Excellent. Well, people talking about Aperol spritz. I'm just now doing this just to waste a little bit of time until. Can we start doing a song and dance, Barbara? Can you?
I did get my sister on the Aperol spritz. She's like, "Oh, this is really good." And
I've got my guitar somewhere. If you can sing, then we can do something. So Victoria's saying, "Is there a way to reach out to the homeowners?" We can possibly do that, Victoria. If you send us an email, we can't obviously. I'm not going to give Barbara's telephone number. Well, I might give you a telephone number just for a laugh. Let's just have a quick look, see if there's any more questions. I need to go quiet now. This is where Tony usually comes in handy because he's getting this, and I'm still waiting to see if John and Laurie can come in. Okay, so no, I think that's about all the questions. Somebody's asking if they should apply for citizenship. Definitely, if you are wanted to get a visa, if you wanted to stay here, then you should definitely do that.
If you want to buy a car.
Or if you want to buy a car, yeah, you've got to be a resident. You don't have to be a citizen, but you have to be a resident. So Brad is saying, what is few, Barbara? Did you ship some of your stuff from Texas or buy new?
Well, I bought all the original owner's furniture, so I didn't really have to buy furniture or anything like that. I just shipped my little knickknacks and stuff and CDs and all my little home stuff. I had 30 boxes shipped over from Texas.
Okay.
So, yeah, I did ship stuff, and I did get lucky. There is a company that was like a small mom and pop shop that was in my area that does shipping through all over the world, and they did all the shipping for me because there is so much paperwork you got to fill out. You've got to fill out so much documentation and tell them what you've got, what's in every box, are they for sale, or they're personal, and they were sending me so many letters and messages asking me what's in the boxes, what are you going to do with them, and they even asked me, and I'm not even sure why they asked me this. They asked me when you came to Italy on your one way, did you come with someone? And I said, yes, I came. And they wanted to know who you came with, what was the airline that you came with, what was the airline number that you came on. I mean, they really want to know what's happening and what's in your boxes. So it took a little bit to get here and get it going. But once I got it, yeah, you just got to fill out all the paperwork. I mean, every box has to have a label, your name, your number. I mean, every box. So all 30 boxes had your labels. Right. Everything had to be filled.
And what sort of, if you don't mind me asking, what sort of prices did? Because I'm sure people will be wondering. I mean, how many boxes did you ship over?
30.
30. What size boxes were they? Would you say roughly?
Well, if anybody's from the United States, they'll know it's the large Home Depot boxes, and they're pretty tall boxes, large boxes. And for 30 boxes, they were $9,600.
$9,600.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so yeah, that's not too bad, is it? So you got quite a
Actually, it was the cheapest because some of the others were quoting $12,000.
Right. Okay. Excellent. Well, you'll have to send me the details of that company, and then at least if anybody emails in, I can then ask. Let's just see if John and Laurie, they're desperately trying to keep coming on and off, but we can you hear us, John and Laurie? I think we may have to call it a day with them, which is so unfortunate because
usually it's you and I who are having the freeze up.
I know, but yeah, Laurie was going to give us the story of this is in Abruzzo. This is where her family's from. She was going to give us a story. I think we're going to have to. Let's see. They're trying to get back on. No, it doesn't seem to be. Doesn't seem to be working for them. Okay, well, I think an hour's gone. It's a shame we didn't. Get manage to get them through. But what's Deborah saying here? I'll be shipping my dogs when we move. I'll be using Pet Mover. They've been doing transport for 20+ years. Wow. So there you go. Never heard of them, but that's a bit of a plug for Pet Mover, whoever they are. It's probably Deborah's business, which is absolutely fine. Give it a push.
Yeah.
I'm only joking. It may not be. Okay, Barbara, thank you so much for giving your time up. Really appreciate it, and it's.
You're welcome.
It's nice to give people an insight. So, no regrets then? Everything that you wanted it to be?
No. And it's funny because I went to Greece this year. I met my younger sister, her husband, and Brett went. And they're, like paying $1,400 to fly to Greece. And they're like, well, how much is it going to pay, to cost you to fly to Greece? 2 hours, $200. I feel real bad having to throw that in on the bottom, but I do.
Brilliant. Okay, Barbara, thank you so much. No doubt I will see you. I'll see you soon. Thanks for giving up your time, and really appreciate it. And
Thank you.
keep doing what you're doing. We'll speak to you really soon.
All
We'll
right,
see you soon. Bye. Okay, so I'm going to try. Let's have a look. See if John and Laurie. I thought I got them. Then it was looking good. I'm gonna ramble on for another minute or two, which I know you like that. I'm going to ramble on for another minute or two just to see if we can get John and Laurie back. If not, then we'll get them another time, I'm sure. So. Just to another thing that I wanted to ask everybody is if you would give me some ideas for the kind of videos that you want to see from A Home in Italy. We're desperate. Obviously, we want to keep our video properties going, but we're desperate to come up with other things, whether they're lifestyle videos. We are going to be doing town visits and things like that. It would be great to hear from you the kind of things the kind of content you would like to see from us. Because during August, I've got to admit that we're actually closing down, not closing down for good, closing down for holidays. And so I don't want to be putting sort of properties on all the time. I do want to try and put some other content in there as well. So if you do have any ideas, the kind of thing you would like to see on videos, I am thinking about doing sort of getting people like Barbara, but also Palombaro Patrick, who you met the other week. We were talking about some of the things that he thought. Italy, moving to Italy, some of the things that he thought, even when it's talking about sort of the type of restaurants are out here, the type of malls that are out here, if there is any malls, if there is any, he was expecting a different sort of life to the reality of what it's like living here, in the sense of he thought it was sort of dust tracks and donkeys, when in actual fact he can get more here than he can in parts of the state. So I wanted to do some videos to try and capture some of that as well. So any ideas that you can think of, please send me an email to info@ahomeinaitaly.com. Now it looks like Lama, Laurie and John are trying desperately to get back on, but it's not working, unfortunately. They must be having problems with their internet. So sorry we couldn't finish off with those guys, but no doubt we'll catch up over the next couple of weeks with them, because I know they're getting internet put in their house, and then we'll definitely bring them back on to let us know how things are going on in Lama. And don't forget to look at this Saturday's property video, because that's in the same town as them. It's got 2 roof terraces, great property. It's got a garage as well. It needs some updating, but it's a fantastic property. 79,900 euros. That includes all fees and taxes as well. So take a look at that one from last Saturday, and obviously we'll be in touch with a new one this Saturday. Okay, guys. People are writing on here what they'd like to see: businesses, towns, restaurants, bars. That's the kind of thing. Because again, I think people think that it's going to be a lot different to what you're used to. And having the conversation I did with Palombaro Patrick, he was telling me what he thought the restaurants would be like, what he thought the supermarkets would be like. And then when he got here, it was actually completely different. I'm still trying to get Laurie and John, but it's not working. But yeah, he said it was completely different to what he thought, what he imagined. So yeah, that's the kind of thing we want to do. But send us an email to info@homeinaitaly.com. Give us some ideas, and we'll try and get that content going, especially while I have a little bit of time off. But I will be doing some video work as well. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining us. I really appreciate it. Absolutely gutted that we couldn't say bye to John and Lama, Laurie, but I'm sure that we'll get them on, even if it's just for a quick 10-15 minutes, maybe next week. So I want Laurie to finish off her story, which is a great one. Thanks ever so much, and we'll see you again next week. We'll carry on the theme of Meet the Home Buyers. I think we're going to keep doing this for another couple of weeks, hopefully. There's a few people that wanted to come on and give you their experiences. Thank you so much as usual. Thank you for all your support. Really appreciate it. And we will see you next Tuesday, same time, without Tony. Again, he is not going to be here. What do we say? See you next week.